Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Heartbeat Show for Realtors Podcast. This is Tim Hart, branch manager of VanDyk Mortgage here in Fort Myers, Florida. It's middle of December. It's very sunny outside, so I feel sorry for everyone else freezing their you-know-what's off up north. But today I got a guest again. We're bringing some value to the real estate community. This is Floyd Wickman's team. We have Michael and Mary Pallin. Did I get it?
Close enough. Yeah.
I still want to say Palin. If he was right there, then you want to think too.
Yeah. You're thinking of the Monty Python guy. He only has one L. We got two.
Yeah. I did see a Monty Python guy show up. That's great. Well, Michael and Mary, I appreciate you guys being with me today. You guys are well established in the real estate community. And before we get into it, with what we're going to talk about, which is finishing the year strong for realtors, why don't you fill the listeners in on who you guys are and how long you've been in the business?
Well, we've been in the business since BC, before computers. So
All right.
that'll tell you how long. Yeah. But we really are keepers of the flame, of a legacy of a man named Floyd Wickman, who brought some innovation into the real estate business somewhere around the early 80s. And one of the innovations was called space training. Up until then, if you took a training program, it was usually Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And we discovered along about Wednesday morning, people's eyes would glaze over because you can teach a person too much all at once, missing the whole point. So Floyd would pioneer space training with assignments, with accountability, with role play, learning dialogue, and teamwork. Because a group of people who work together as a team will always produce more than just individuals. So our bread and butter really is teaching the Floyd Wickman program, which is how to sell real estate A through Z.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way of explaining it. We both come from the trenches. We sold real estate, moved through various other positions within our realtor organizations, and began working with the Floyd Wickman team because Floyd changed our lives and we watched him change other people's lives. So that's really what we're about. We're about relationships. We're about changing people's lives, and we do that through space training. We also have a coaching program that's affordable and incredible and high accountability. We've got some digital and live stream training. So kind of do it all. And we're doing a podcast, and we just finished our 100th episode. So,
100 episodes.
Yeah, so we're thrilled to be your guest today. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Tim, and thanks to VanDyk Mortgage. We appreciate the invitation. If you want any more information about what we do and who we are, just go to floydwickman.com. It's the simplest way to do it.
Yeah.
But Mary mentioned that we do a coaching program and have for over 10 years. And it started during the worst of times. If you remember back to 2009. Yeah.
Scars are deep there, buddy. Scars are deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, still happening too.
What we did was we started a coaching program that continues what we build on in our space training program, keeping people doing those mandatory assignments that will get them the business that they want. If you do the right activity, you'll always get the right result.
And that's really the foundation of our podcast, is learning from the other agents. What are they facing, and what are their challenges? And so that was the springboard that launched us into podcast fame.
Yeah, and in addition to the coaching and the training that we do, we invite our graduates to 2 events a year. And we just finished our 2-day business planning event down in Lexington. We call it the Business Breakthrough. And it's 2 days of working on your business. And one of the topics that's come up during that event, and also during our weekly coaching calls, has been, how do I finish the year strong? Because there are 2 things that almost everybody wants. And one of them is to take time off at the end of the year and enjoy the holidays with your family without guilt. Sometimes you feel like, well, I'm neglecting my business so I can be with my family, or I'm neglecting my family so I can focus on my business. What can you do right now, just before those holiday season starts, to finish the year strong? And second, almost everybody wants to have some momentum going in January. So you're not starting off that first week
Right.
from a dead stop,
Yeah.
to keep the momentum. So that's what we built this little podcast that you've invited us to do around, is what we'd like to call the 5 recommendations for how to finish the year strong so you start the next year stronger. And of course, calling them the 5 recommendations would be like saying Moses brought down the 10 suggestions.
Well, I like the recommendation. That got me, man. When you said that, I was like, what's that
Okay.
guy? He's like, I recommend you do these.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
But you bring up, if you don't mind me interjecting real quick,
please.
you bring up, it always stuck with me from what Zig Ziglar said, and what you were just talking about there. And it was, he always said, when you're at work, all you're thinking about is being with your family. And when you're with your family, all you're thinking about is you should be at work. And then he hits you with like that Southern twang. He's like, well, you ain't never nowhere. Like you're never present at work because you should be with your family, and then vice versa. And so that really hit home. It's a great point, especially during the holiday.
Well, Floyd had a 40-year mentor-protege relationship with Zig Ziglar. And we've taken one of his sayings to heart. You can see it on my back wall there. You can have everything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want.
He has some good lines.
But we worked strenuously on something that Zig taught Floyd, and we like to teach our students and like to embody, which is called build home court advantage. If you're an independent contractor, or you're in the sales business, you're making your own hours, you're running your own business, it's very difficult. But if you don't have home court advantage, it's next to impossible. If you go home every night and people there are not supporting and encouraging you, or at least staying out of your way, then it's really hard to stay on track at work.
And this time of year, probably it's perhaps exacerbated, right? If there's conflict, you're sometimes seeing people that you normally don't see and spend time with. Your family time takes more of your 24 hours this time of year than any other. So how do you do both? How do you have both? And we came up with a list of 5 things that we thought we would share with your audience, Tim, if that's all right.
Yeah, let's hit them. Let's go.
All right.
I want to see a lot of recommendations already.
Number 1 is now business. There's still time to do some now business. I know a lot of people, as soon as they start stuffing the turkey shut down for the year, I'm done, right? But
yeah,
the best, if you're talking to real estate people, the best buyers, the most motivated buyers, the most serious buyers are out there looking at houses now. And the agents who know what they're doing are actually working now. So now is a great time to take advantage of holiday business.
Yeah, don't stop already. You don't have to work every single day, but there's business to be had out there. And if you follow up on some of your leads, make your list of the hottest things, the hottest people that are about to buy or sell from you, with you, the people that are under your fingernails, if you will. One of the recommendations that we gave to our squared teams in these last couple weeks is take a look at the calendar and figure out what days you're going to still work between now and, say, Super Bowl. Because people don't go to work on January 1st, right? And then they have a hangover on January 2nd, and then, well, it's almost Super Bowl. So pretty much between now and Super Bowl, you got to say, okay, what days am I going to work? What days am I not going to work? And set your hours. And then it gives you that opportunity to have the home court advantage, to take time off, to communicate to your family when you're available and when you're not. And you can be present in the present, because that's what you were talking about, Tim, is being present.
And communicate to your clients and prospects too, when you're available. You don't want to fall short of their expectations. You always want to exceed them.
Yep.
So don't forget, there's still some now business out there. We actually put together a list of 10 reasons why you should list your house now if you're ever thinking of selling. We call them the holiday handlers, because most people will tell you, well, we're too busy this time of year. Well, there's 10 other good reasons why you should set that busyness aside. And if you are going to sell, boy, now is a great time to put it on the market. Yeah, so that's number 1, is finish the now business that you've got right here under your fingernails, right in front of you. So that'd be number one. Here comes number two. Put together your 2020 marketing plan.
Okay.
Put it on paper. Don't wait till March. Don't start thinking about, gee, what am I going to do for client appreciation gifts in October? Nope. Now is the time to set your year at a glance calendar in front of you and plan out that whole marketing system that you're going to put in place.
That was such a big hit at Business Breakthrough in November. So our students have actually been working on their 2020 plan since November. I shouldn't be bragging because Ford Motor Company probably started working on their 2020 plan in March of 2019, right? Or sooner. But a lot of people wait until January or February or don't ever do it. So we took a year at a glance calendar and we brought one for everybody to our last event. And it was just a huge hit because now I can plan in advance. When am I going to contact my clients? How often in a year? What am I sending? Where's my marketing money going? And where should it be going? How do I strategically plan the year so I'm not always behind the 8 ball saying, hey, I should do an event, in 2 weeks. So it gives you that edge, and putting the group think together. If you know you're going to do a client event in May, then you know that in March, it's probably time to start figuring out where it's going to be held and what's my budget and all of that kind of thing. So you can run your business like a business.
You know, Tim, in the 21st century, it began with some tension in the real estate industry. And it's done nothing but get more intense as the years have gone on. And the tension is between the forces that want to remove the real estate agent from the center of the transaction and replace with technology. And you know, the Zillows and the Redfins and companies like that, Compass. Well, there's only really one defense that an individual independent contractor has today to counteract that. And that's to build close personal relationships with a group of people who think of you as my trusted advisor, my realtor, the person I refer my friends and family to. So you build a repeat referral-based business. Now it's important to have the selling skills to continue to use the other traditional sources of leads and business that we get. But that book of business that you build, that's got to be the foundation of your business. And it is the only way, really, to be competitive with the commission cutters. So we tell people to build that book, you need a marketing system in place. Something that they get from you on a monthly basis and hearing from you ear to ear at least 3 times a year and seeing you face to face at least once a year. You build relationships, and that's our best defense. So this is the time of year to put that marketing system in place and be proactive as opposed to being reactive throughout the year.
Are you ready for number 3?
I just wanted to mention one other thing about putting your marketing system in place, and that is you're going to take a look at expenses. What am I spending money on? What should I spend money on? And there's this thing out there called subscriptions.
Yeah.
Some of us are subscribing to things that we don't use anymore, but they only show up as like $9.99 a month. And that doesn't make much of a difference in my budget. But boy, if you get 5 or 10 or 20 of those going simultaneously and you're not using them, you're throwing money away. So review what subscriptions you've already got in place. Is it still working for me? Or should I be putting my resources somewhere else where I get a return?
Yeah, $185 a month for 18 months. One of our students was paying.
Oh my gosh.
And saying, I don't think I got anything from that. So yeah, take a look at that. Number 3, since you're going to be spending some time with family, why not use a little bit of that time to schedule vacations in advance? So
Let me reach behind you.
So I was wondering what you were going to do. Take that same calendar and say,
there it is. The year at a glance.
yeah.
Everyone should have a year at a glance calendar.
Right. But what if you knew in advance? What if over this next 30 days, you strategized, when are we taking off? When are we working? And when are we really taking off? And what can we look forward to? You know, Floyd Wickman and I wrote a book a few years back, and it was called Lessons from My Brother Zig. It was about that relationship, that mentoring relationship that he and Zig had, and the lessons that Zig taught him. Home court advantage means there's got to be a time when your family feels like they are the most important thing. It can't be all the time because you'd be broke, but they can have some of that time, and scheduling it in advance, having a vacation, knowing that's out there gives us energy, gives us something to look forward to. And in our Wickman family, we call that LFTs. Look forward to's. Yeah. So what are your LFTs for 2020? Maybe it's a cousin's wedding out in California, and you're going to get on a plane and head out there, and you can look forward to that all year long, and you book it in, and you also budget it in, because it's not going to be free. Even if you're using frequent flyer miles, you're still going to have some expenses for attending something like that. So strategizing all those things as we're preparing our budget goals for 2020 and our work goals for the following year.
There are people who say that being a successful independent contractor is inconsistent with or incompatible with having a healthy family relationship. We don't believe that. We believe that what you need is something meaningful to do and someone to love and something to look forward to, and you'll be happy. But other people in your life, the ones who are not independent contractors, who don't really get commission sales, they'd love to get a paycheck every week. That they understand that security is what they want. They need something to look forward to as well, because our life is out of balance. Just period. It's out of balance for periods of time. And sometimes you can overcome that by having that light at the end of the tunnel for them. And as Zig said, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And if they want that, that's what you give them. And that's how you have home court advantage. Plan your vacations in advance. Here's what we've really discovered over the years, Tim. People who take more vacations are more productive. For whatever reason, the 2 days before your vacation starts are the busiest days ever. Things just come together.
I bet you know that already, don't you?
Yeah.
Every vacation, driving off. I left the house. This is just like this. Drove out of the house, made it about a mile down the road, phone. Hey, I'm under contract, blah, blah, blah. Like, all right, let's get to it. Yeah, right. You go on vacation. That's when the phone starts ringing, when you say, go.
Yeah, packing the suitcase at 2 a.m. for a 6 a.m. flight, you know?
Yeah, we should go on vacation every other week, and maybe we just break rest.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And you come back from vacations nicer.
What we'll do.
That's kind of important. Can we go to number 4?
Do it.
Recommendation number 4. If you want to hit the ground running in January, get booked for appointments now. Take out your January calendar. And here's where to start. Call all those people who put you off until next year and say, you know, I'm booking up quick. I would hate to have to wait until spring to get to you. How about we get together? Mm-hmm. I have the 7th or the 8th open. Which would be better for you? You know, and if you can enter that first week in January, knowing you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 appointments booked already, boy, that's the way to let go of everything. Maybe even December 23rd, let go of everything, and the rest of the year is just fine.
Yeah. Well, you know, and our businesses, I'm in the mortgage business, it's the same with you guys in the real estate business.
Right.
We do today, we get paid for in March, you know, or April. Mm-hmm. You see those results, and when you take off, which a lot of people do, from, you know, now to basically, you said Super Bowl, but yeah, right around there, you pay for that.
Yeah.
Into your first quarter and probably all of your second quarter, you're going to be recovering the whole time.
And it's just not necessary.
No, it's not at all.
Get booked. If you knew you had 3 appointments on the 3rd and the 4th of January, you'd be back working. And, you know, it means you get dressed and you go to work on the 3rd and the 4th, as opposed to, you know, taking time.
going. Right. That's a good point.
Now, you don't have to do that. But Floyd has a cute little saying that he repeats over and over, and it drilled into our heads. And it's what you do when you don't have to that'll determine what you're going to be when you can't help it anymore. So we live by that, and we try to bring it to our students as well. So get yourself booked. It's easy enough. You know, people are willing to take your calls this time of year, willing to take out their calendar, and at least book tentative appointments, if nothing else.
Well, what an easy line though to say, hey, you told me to call you next year. Guess what? It's next year. You know, you're coming to them with the truth, because that's a good blow off. Wait till the holidays are over, right? Like that's
perfect. That's exactly what I'm going to do. How about the 3rd? Right.
January 2nd is not a holiday, right?
Well, yeah, but that's recovery day.
Yeah.
We got one more.
All right, number 5, right?
Here it comes. I got to look right at the camera and say this to you.
Oh boy.
Because it's our deep, dark secret, which is somewhere in everybody's business, there's a horrible mess. I know there is. And a lot of people, it's your office. You've heard of that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I think that's the title of the book. It's all about being neat and being organized and being clean. Well, I tell you what, if you come back to work first week in January and you come back to the same mess you left at the end of December, you just don't feel as energized. But if before you leave, you make a commitment, I think I'm going to clean up this mess so I come back to something that I can mess up myself. You know, I come back to something that's like a clean slate.
All right.
What a difference that makes. Now, that's just if it's your office, but there are other places in people's businesses where they have a mess.
Or not their business. It might be your house or something that you've neglected. Clean up the mess. That's number 5. Where's the mess for you? Is it systemic? What is that word? Is it a system?
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe it's a system that was screwed up all year long and you've been kind of limping along, but things have been slipping through the cracks, or your recording system or your tracking system or your whatever. This is the perfect time to get that figured out and clean up the mess. Maybe it's your kitchen and it's a wreck. I have a student who described it this way. This was in October. She said, if you could see my house right now, all I've been doing is working. And it's as though someone picked up my house, turned it upside down and shook everything out. That's what and when I walk in the door, I'm instantly depressed, mad, angry, overwhelmed, frustrated. Well, you know what? Clean up the mess. So whether it's 1 hour in each room, 1 hour each day between now and the end of the year, or whatever it is, clean up the mess.
Yeah.
You know what comes to mind with that, between the mess, especially for realtors, but this goes for like all businesses.
Right.
We're constantly, I say mining our database, but when we are constantly trying to keep it updated, adding, and doing all that stuff and pushing out to them and marketing to them, a lot of people don't do that. And
right.
A lot of it, I think, has to do with it's just not organized. They don't have, all this information, their closing dates, the purchase price, the name, email, phone number, all that stuff that, is like money, it's like sitting there waiting to be online. And I think that happens a lot. Do you guys find, am I off base with that with realtors? Is that a big?
No. I can't even tell you how many people we've walked into their office and in order to sit in a chair, you have to move a stack of paper files. Yeah. Really? Like at some point, those need to be put away. How many people have stacks all over the floor in their office? We see that all the time. No, systems solve that. But a lot of us, we have some good systems. We just don't have all the systems that we need. So take a look at your systems. Clean out the mess wherever it is. And again, it may be in your family, or in your home.
I think the good news is you don't have to clean up all the messes. Just pick one and That'll be good. And it usually is your physical office, your physical workspace that needs to be freshened up, tidied up. You know, you don't have to be organized to get the job done, but it sure helps. If you know what I mean.
Well, you know, less clutter on the outside and hopefully less clutter on the inside with your mind.
That's right.
And it's, you know, these 5 recommendations, they're not Herculean labors. This is something every ordinary human can do, really.
Pretty easy, pretty doable.
You got some now business. Before you shut down for the year, focus on that. Make sure you take care of what's right in front of you. And you need to put your marketing plan in place for next year. That's not that difficult. What are you going to send? When are you going to call? What will you do to appreciate your clients face to face? Then take out your year-at-a-glance calendar. Get everybody else in your life on board by scheduling your vacations. Here's when we're taking time off just for us. Then get yourself booked for the first of the year. Clean up that one mess that's dragging you down. And that's how you take guilt-free time off and start next year with momentum.
Yeah.
Finish the year strong.
Yeah.
And start the next year strong.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's this whole message should, it resonates with me because we experienced it in 2019. I don't think I screwed off at the end of 18. I don't know. We really never could pin down what happened. Something happened. Our January was one of the worst we've had in a long time.
Oh.
But we absolutely killed it the rest of the year, up, 60, 70%. Like, ended up being number 2 in the country for VanDyk mortgage. And, but all we did every month, I look at the numbers like, damn January just keeps like, it drags you down that one bad month because you got to recoup it down the road, to break that, to increase that average.
And there's still time to fix that.
Yeah.
And to go back to the beginning, that's why Floyd stresses with us to help our students build a book of business.
Right.
As if every January you've got to start over from scratch and reinvent yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That gets tiring after a few years. You want to have repeat and referral-based business that keeps the momentum going,
right?
And perpetual. And that way you ride out some of those highs and lows. You raise up some of the lows, and Book of Business does that.
Love it. You guys got anything else?
Happy holidays.
Just a
Happy New Year.
Big thank you to you, Tim, and to VanDyk Mortgage, and anybody who's interested in our coaching or training, go to floydwickman.com to see what we're all about.
Cool. We'll put all your guys' your website, we'll put it in the post. Also, you guys, if you're out there listening and you listen to this on SoundCloud or you have SoundCloud, that's where you guys host your podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's called Mondays with Mike and Mary.
Yeah.
Mondays with Mike and Mary. I love it. I do Tuesdays with Tim when I call, make my sales calls. That's great. I love it.
Cool. Yeah.
Random stuff and have fun. So, Mike and Mary, I appreciate you guys coming on. Hope you can come on in the future. You always have an open invitation here to come talk about the next recommendation, right? You got coming up for realtors in the future, okay?
Thank you.
Tim.
Yeah, no problem. And guys out there, if you're listening to this, don't forget every week we do this. You subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. We'll put these videos on Facebook as well. Make sure we connect. If you are a realtor out there, I want you to remember one thing that we do is we can actually fully underwrite all of your files before they're even down here looking for a home. Before you even make an offer on a house, we can have them fully underwritten and approved. That way it'll make your offer get that much more accepted. So if I can help you with that, give me a call, 239-437-4278. Thanks again for listening. Mike and Mary, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim.
You guys, bye-bye.